Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Let's Be Honest with Peter Kozodoy. It is tough to believe we are actually a month away from the launch that happened almost 30 days ago to the day, which is crazy. And my life has been craziness ever since. And throughout this time, you've listened to amazing stories from folks, all around the world. Today, I have a very special guest who knows all about what's going on around the world. His name is Larry Jacobson. Larry is an award-winning author, motivational speaker, and circumnavigator. Larry, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Peter. Great to be here.
Oh, it's awesome to have you. So, Larry, for those of you who don't know you, take 3 to 4 minutes. Tell everyone who you are, what you do, and what gets you inspired.
Okay. Big questions first, right? So, I'm Larry Jacobson, and I'm trying to get my message across to others, and that is that anybody can make their dreams come true. And I say that from experience because I was able to make my dreams come true, and I don't know that I'm any more special than anybody else. I spent 20 years in the business world, in the incentive travel and meeting and events production company, where I ended up being CEO. And then after 20 years in business, I bought a boat and spent the next 6 years sailing around the world. And that had been my dream since I was 13 years old. And so it was like amazing that I was able to do it. So 6 years, and then I came home and I wrote a 6-time award-winning memoir about it called The Boy Behind the Gate. And now what I do is I speak, I write, and I coach. And my coaching is usually towards retirement age people who are retiring or going to retire or have retired and are finding, gee, wait a minute, is that all there is? And who am I now? Why, I used to be this, and now who am I, and what am I going to do as I go forward? And because people are living longer than before, they have a lot more time, and realizing that, next for 20 years is a long time to sleep in and play golf only. Sure. So, they're looking for purpose and fulfillment, and I try to help people find that.
God, Larry, one of my favorite words is the R word, retirement. I don't think people think about it enough or do enough about it. And what's funny is as soon as I got out of college, 22, I was thinking about retirement, started to actually plan my life out in terms of, I started an IRA, started investing in real estate, all the things you want to do to sort of grow wealth. And I'm so glad I did because, the years go by and I don't think enough people sort of think about it. So
they do.
Love that.
I like to redefine retirement, or at least say that that's what we're trying to do, is redefine it. We're certainly not in the retirement of our folks. My father, when he retired, he was just so excited he could play more golf. And pretty much in that generation, you retired, you played golf for a few years, and then you died. Yeah. Now we have a lot longer amount of time.
Yeah, thankfully. So Larry, you've done a lot, seen a lot. I mean, literally traveled the world. Take us back to a time where you had to get brutally honest with yourself as a leader, business or in life. What was the situation? What comes to mind? What happened, and what did you do next?
Yeah, well, I think that there is a fair amount of them. I've been kind of thrust into leadership roles throughout my life. But let me share one that might be a little more exciting for people. And that is, we were sailing, there were myself and 2 crew members. We were sailing my 50-foot boat up the Red Sea. We had just come through Pirate Alley through the Gulf of Aden. We were going up the Red Sea, which is 1,200 miles. We had stopped to go scuba diving at this little reef out in the middle of the Red Sea. And it was very calm, and it was just beautiful. And we came up and we thought, well, should we do one more dive? Yeah, let's do one more dive. And the other boats that we were with, they had left. And I looked at the weather report, and the weather was showing a storm coming, but not for another 24 hours. But the forecasting in that area of the world is really terrible. And you kind of have to do it on your own. And it's kind of haphazard, shall we say. So I chose that for us to stay and dive again. And that decision of me in leadership role was a disaster because the storm came early. And when we left the reef and we were headed north, we got slammed by this storm that other people were already in another anchorage, and we were like 100 miles offshore, and we were hit with 60 knot winds, which is more than gale force, for more than 24 hours, and the seas built up to 30 feet, 3 stories. And they were coming faster than I had ever seen before. They were coming every 3 seconds. And we were just in this, I mean, it was really, really scary. And it was one of those times when I really learned a lot about fear. But more than that, it was about leadership. I had gotten us into that situation. It was my fault. I mean, I had put us there. I was the one. There was, no discussion about should we do another dive or whatever. The buck stopped with me, and I made that wrong decision. So I really felt that I needed to do everything I could to get us out of it. And I was I was at the helm for like 30 hours on the boat. And I did get us into a small little anchorage where we were able to rest for a couple of days safely. And it was hit and miss. It was really, really scary. But I felt this incredible responsibility. Sure, I was afraid for myself, but more than that, I was afraid for the boat and for my crew more than anything, because I felt responsible for them.
Wow.
So it's kind of a more fun one than the usual business story.
I don't know. Fun. I mean, it doesn't sound very fun. I've done my fair share of boating, and yeah, those kinds of storms. I don't think people realize very different experience on the water than on land.
Yeah. But what I found is that all those skills that I learned in the 20 years before going sailing, the leadership skills that I learned in business, I used at sea as the captain of the boat, and the leadership skills I used as captain on the boat, I use every day in my everyday life about, just things that I learned at sea. And it's just all so applicable. And anyway, that was a good example, though, of being pretty honest with myself that I had really screwed up and gotten into that situation.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you pulled through, and now you're on the live stream show with me. That's fantastic. Exactly. So Larry, you've done a lot, and I love that you picked a personal story out for that leadership moment. When you look back on your career in business, what's the thing you're most proud of? And then what is the thing you are perhaps least proud of?
Let's see. In my business career, as I said, which was events productions and event production, incentive travel programs for, we did like most of the Silicon Valley companies, and took their top salespeople on trips to different places and that. I would say the thing that I'm most proud of is that in 20 years of business, we never ever once lost a client to a competitor, ever, in 20 years. And we had a lot of the big name companies, and so our competitors were going after them. And I think a lot of it was because we were honest with them, first of all, always honest with them. We never lied. We never took advantage of our clients. We always shared with them. We were transparent with them. They believed, what we told them. They did what we asked them. They never questioned our price, because we never were unfair and never cheated anybody. And I think that reputation, lasted and stayed with us. What was it? Oh, what was I least not so excited about? Yeah, I would say being lured into wasting time on giving presentations in situations where I knew we didn't have a chance. Where, for example, one of the big car manufacturers asked us if we would bid on one of their programs, and I had known that they were a client of this other company for years, and I thought, well, why would you want us to bid? And why? And I asked them, well, why do you want us to bid? Why are you thinking about changing or dropping that company? And their answer was, oh no, we have to get 3 bids.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought, well, wait a minute, you're just using me. But in the back of my mind, there was this chance, wow, what if they like us? And what if we really do have a shot at it? But we never had a shot. And I did that a few times, and then learned my lesson and stopped doing that.
The RFP game is such a political game. We had to learn that the hard way too, and we've won some, but we had our fair share of just submitting RFPs that we were exactly what you said. You got to have 3, and those are the rules, and they already are going to go with the incumbent. And it drives me nuts. It's unfortunate. I actually think it's dishonest, because it means the firm that's requesting these services have already decided a course of action, instead of what is much more honest, which is being open-minded to any new things that come at you. That's actually how innovation occurs, by being open to what comes toward you, not closed off to it. So it baffles me that that's allowed and that it's a thing, but nonetheless, where human beings are involved, politics always reign. So
yeah, I suppose that's right. Yeah.
That's why I wrote a book about it, because that falls firmly into a dishonest way of business, and one that has an opportunity cost. So,
and I would ask questions. I mean, you call it brutally honest, and I would just ask questions. Well, why do you want us then? Yeah. Oh yeah, well, we want your bid. Okay, in other words, are you saying that you just want our ideas and you don't want to pay for them? Oh, no. And it's amazing how then they were like lying right back to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with regards to, I own a marketing agency, that's how marketing services are procured a lot of the time. And it really is pretty backwards. Like, we're not going to pay you, come with your best ideas, then we'll figure out if we want to pay you or not. It doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah. So we've gone in and out, and every time I ban RFPs, I said, we're not doing any more. A couple of years will go by. All right, fine, let's do this one, and one turns into 3. And then I realize, why did I do this again? Yes. No, we're not doing this. This is not how we drum up business.
You get lured into that idea that maybe, you're thinking, or
exactly. So I hear you. Larry, tell people where they can see your work, follow along with you, get into your system, learn more about what you do.
Yeah. I have a big website that is, it's LarryJacobson.com. And that's Larry Jacobson, SON. And on there are links to all my books. So I've written 3 books and was a co-author in 2 others. And the one I'm most well known for, I think, is The Boy Behind the Gate. I can hold it up too.
Yeah, hold it up.
There you go,
folks.
It's awesome. The Boy Behind the Gate. It's hardbound. It's got color photos, and it's really beautifully printed. And it's the story of my 6-year sailing trip around the world. And it has all the motivation and lessons in there. And it's interesting. I get about an email every week or so from somebody somewhere in the world who has read my book, and they say, "Dear Larry, thank you. Because of your book, I have now ... And I've had them say, fill in the blank, which is, I got divorced, I got married, I started a new company, I quit my company, I left to go sailing, I left to go on a motorcycle trip, or whatever." And because I really encourage people, and even I'll come over and cut your dock lines if you need to, if you need me to.
You're not coming back.
Yeah. And I wrote a couple other books. There's the children's version of it. It's called Let's Go.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and it's for 8 to 12-year-olds. It's a middle grade reader. Mm-hmm. And then I also wrote a book about entrepreneurship, because I know a lot about entrepreneurship. It's called Navigating Entrepreneurship. And those are 3 I think that readers might be interested in. And then my TED Talks are also on my website under the speaker tab. And more than anything is I want people to know that if they're ready to go to the next level with learning about retirement or about entrepreneurship, also about public speaking, is that I'm a coach, and my coaching is available to people. And they find all sorts of information about that all over my website.
Awesome. Folks, LarryJacobson.com. Go check that out. SON. The cross between, you were talking about being a captain and being a leader. I mean, when the stakes are that high, right? When it's life or death, that's when you really test your leadership skills and what you believe. So, Larry, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's been great fun.
Yeah. And, until next time, I'm Peter Kozodoy. Thanks for being honest.
Thank you.